My name is Felix. I am an art director. I run a small design studio in Singapore called Silent. And in 2009, we started another company called Anonymous, where we do our own self-initiated projects. I always felt that all creative people are actually storytellers. We have a story we want to tell through our whole life. That one particular story. It's just that we use different mediums to do it, like photographers, musicians, designers, architects. I am still trying to find what's my story. So the entire process of running a business is actually a learning process for ourselves as well. I think that actually shows in our work because we rarely do the same thing twice. So we've done a magazine, okay, we move on, we do something else. So we've done a design film festival, so we move on, we do something else. Because precisely we're trying to find what kind of story we want to tell. I think because of how the world is right now, right? Because of the internet and the availability of information so freely, it's not difficult to pick up things that you previously had no education or knowledge about, like editing a video. Anyone can do it, because it's so easy to pick up and to learn. The difference, I guess, is whether you can do it well. So most of the time when we take on a project, the harder it is, the less we know about it. I think it's an advantage for us because we don't have to set ourselves in some kind of model or standard that we have to abide to. We just do it the way we want to do it, and we ignore standards. Yeah. If you look at the most successful creative people in the industry, they're not just good at one thing. They're very good at being able to create, but at the same time they're usually very successful businessmen, or they're very good strategists, or they're very good marketeers, or they're very good public speakers. And that helps a lot, because it's pointless if you stay in your studio and you create the most beautiful film or the most beautiful piece of music, but you have no idea of how to sell it. So the term generalist, I think it's being wrongly conceived as someone who is a jack of all trades, a master of none. But it's someone who's a master at what they do. But at the same time, they are very capable about using whatever other resources and pulling it together and try and make the thing that they do so much more successful. So I think we are in an era whereby we need to find a new term for someone who is a jack of all trades, someone who is a generalist. We need to find a new word for it. Yeah, I think even for myself, I think when we started the studio, I was terrible at public speaking. I was bad at managing aggression. I was bad at managing finances. But time passes and you realize that no one else is going to do it for you. You really have to do it yourself, from promoting to winning new business to chasing for payment, to the whole process, even schedules. You really have to do it yourself, especially when I think it's a global phenomenon that most people are trying to move out of the 9 to 5 working for a company kind of routine. Everyone is kind of coming out and starting their own shop, which is a very exciting process. But at the same time, if you do that, it just means that you really have to be a very, very versatile person to survive doing such a business. You really have to create and sell at the same time. There was once I went to a school to give a short lecture, and then I came across the brochure that they had for students of that program, which is for moving visuals. And there was this statement in the brochure that said, "The specialists are the future," and I was so surprised by it, and I was very shocked that that's how it's being presented, because I really think that the future is very different, because people today are very different from the past. You know, we are like a sponge. We absorb things, and we want to be able to do a lot of different things, and we can't decide what we want to do. I just think the learning process is essentially a life journey. You can't just do one thing well. You really need to tap on whatever resources is out there and try and pick up whatever is required to help you tell your story. Yeah.